Welcome to the TalentHub Joensuu webinar about attracting, recruiting and keeping international talent here in the Joensuu region. We are here at our studio at Luotsi Joensuu. My name is Anne-Maria Kankaisto, and in the next 2 hours we will have many inspiring guests, including our region mayor Markus Hirvonen, local company representatives, as well as experts from Business Joensuu discussing these themes. We will also take a look at our new TalentHub Joensuu website, which was launched in April to serve both the international talents and local companies here in the Joensuu region. So you're very welcome to join us. If you have any questions, please type them in the YouTube chat. We will try to answer some of the questions during the webinar if we have a moment in between speakers. But if not, we have some allocated time at the end of the webinar for these questions and comments. This webinar will also stay at the Luotsi YouTube channel, so you can revisit it later. So let's get started. Our first guest here today is our North Karelia's region mayor Markus Hirvonen, who is here to talk about the factors that make our region attractive on an international level, and also just a great place to live and work in. So very welcome, Markus Hirvonen.
Thank you very much.
So why North Karelia?
So, this is easy question. But good morning everyone, and thank you for letting me came here and talk today. This is very important day for all of us. So I am Markus Hirvonen, I'm a region mayor of North Karelia, and I have been in this position since the beginning of the year, so I'm quite new in this position. I claim to know this province very well. I was born here, I have studied here in Joensuu, and I'm working here now. This is my home where I want to raise my children and make the world a better place to live. So we are a very international province, and we want international actors and people here. And so why should person move to North Karelia? Why is it a very good place to live? I will brief tell you about that. So today we are talking about how we can get international expert to North Karelia and how we can keep them here. I mean 2 important things. First, how we attract people here, and when we get people here in Joensuu or in North Karelia, how we can get to stay in our beautiful province. Natural beauty or lakes alone are not enough. We have a lot of work to do in other things. The environment helps, but it only provides a framework for a great content of life. So, what North Karelia can offer to you? First one, for the 3rd time in a row, Finland ranks as number of happiest country in nation in UN World Happiness Report. You maybe know the survey of state of global happiness ranks countries by how happy their citizens perceive themselves to be. And there is more. For 8th year in a row, Finland ranks the most stable country of all nation lists in Fragile State Index. And it's very fair to say that Finland is a pretty cool place to live in. And a lot of happy people lives here in North Karelia, and you can be one of them. And if you look some place to fit in, whoever you are, North Karelia is right place. What is the common here is that you have the right to be one yourselves without being condemned or discriminated against. We stand for equal rights and diversity. This is something that is rooted in Finnish culture, especially to working life. And what is very important thing that we are university city, this Joensuu city. And whatever you want to be when you grow up, we got you covered. We have growing comprehensive and diverse education network from professional to doctoral spreading through to the region. and we are the country's leader in bringing up new teachers to keep the wheels of learning turning. So we have great opportunities for education, you and your family. And family is very important thing in North Karelia. Since the region is both a beautiful and affordable place to live, North Karelia appeals to families in particular. Here is every day is easier than you can imagine. Kindergarten around the corner, the most spacious and the clear grocery stores. And there is also other benefits. Finland and North Karelia provides comprehensive supports to the whole family, from free health clinics for children and mothers-to-be, free school meals to support equal opportunities for all kids, to flexible working hours for parents. These benefits are truly significant. According to Expat Insider's global survey, Finland is the world's best country to families to live abroad. And in addition, North Karelia is a very safe place. Children can walk to school themselves without escorts. There is no threat to children in Finland. I have 3 kids, and security is one of the main reasons I want to live here. I want my kids to be safe every year, and they can go to school, hobbies and friends without threat and fear. So, we have a lot to do in North Karelia. Immerse yourself in rich urban culture filled with events and activities. There is plenty to experience in your spare time year around. North Karelia is famous for unique culture, food, tradition and fantastic nature attractions. Take a look. Our region can tell you so many interesting stories about life between East and West. The most popular events are Ilosaari, the Biathlon World Cup and Lieksa Brass Weeks. These events gather an audience of thousands of people from all over the world. The people of North Karelia participate many times as volunteers in events, and you can be part of that business. So it's good to live in North Karelia, but the most important thing is that we want to change the world here. We are the forefront of development in various areas. The forest industry, photonics, nanotechnology and many other sectors are among the best in the world here. The world is currently in full of changes. The climate is changing rapidly and is challenging the whole world. At the same time, the political climate is tense in different sides. The world major challenges such as the accumulation of plastic waste, the reduction of clean drinking water, and the refugee crisis have not disappeared. At the same time, digitalization challenges our familiar way of working. These are the problems we must solve here in North Karelia. So we are not part of the problem, but we offer solutions to challenge the whole world. And then we act very responsibly. And when we act responsibly, we create the right atmosphere for international actors in North Karelia. Old-fashioned activities do not attract talents. We must always be a forefront of development if we want to compete for talents. And this is the job we have already begun in North Karelia. And you can be involved in this challenge. So finally, I have already said that the person sleeps 8 hours, a person spends average 8 hours of work, and persons has average 8 hours free time, and this is in Finland. North Karelia can provide a good life in every area. Calmness and security ensure good rest. Modern companies guarantee a good working life, and numerous events, sports and culture brings good free time. So You asked why North Karelia. That's why North Karelia. Welcome, and we hope you enjoy your stay here. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Markus. Many points there why our region would be attractive on an international level. And
I had only 10 minutes. So
we still have actually a little bit of time, so I have a couple of more questions for you. So you spoke about the nature creating this framework, and I think Finland is famous for its nature, and also North Karelia. Absolutely, but it's just a framework. We need to fill it with the good work life, good quality of life, education, like you spoke about. And you were also saying that we need to stay at the forefront of this development, even if the big global problems don't necessarily affect us right now here. But maybe this corona has also proven that the problems eventually find their way to our little nest here as well. So what would you say that in the next decade are the key points that you would like us to focus on here to stay at this forefront and guarantee this quality of life to continue here?
Education and study is the most important things. University and Karelia was applied science. We must focus on education. That's the key for everything.
And you also spoke that our education here has some focuses already, like forestry and photonics and internationally attractive degree programs in those areas. And then you also spoke a lot about family.
Family is the most important thing in life.
Yes, I agree with that. So if someone wants to come here to study or work and they bring their family, how would you say that we would include the family also, that they can get a good start here?
It's very difficult question, but we must offer something. We must take them with us and do. I think there's a lot to do. We are not ready yet.
But basically you spoke about the daycare. Live here but still work abroad.
Yeah, of course.
So how do you see this development going?
I think this development is very fast, and we can get new people here to do some works, but we need good network systems and things like that. That there is a lot to do with network systems.
And also maybe the physical connections, like the airport is still very important for us, and the train connections. And
airport is very important. I think it's most important thing for this traffic system, especially these international talents.
Absolutely. And there are more and more also these people who might look for the quality of work, but they don't want to leave their career. So also this remote work can maybe facilitate that someone could move to North Karelia and buy a little farm, or have this kind of peace and quiet, but still work to the United States, to a big multinational company, for example.
And they want someday they want to go back and go holiday, and that's why they need these traffic systems.
Absolutely, and also for these international talents, they might, or probably some family members stay behind anyway. So it's important that we are connected.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you very much for this inspiring speech. I'm sorry we had some technical difficulties with the presentation, but you went through the key points, I think. So thank you, Markus.
Thank you.
So that was an introduction to the topic of our webinar, why North Karelia and how we could attract and keep this talent and stay competitive on an international level. While we are waiting for our next guest, we can maybe, Mika, put the slide there. And we just wait for the next guest from Kelluu. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Kyllä.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
So take a seat.
Yeah. Please, you can go over there.
Okay, now we are here speaking with Kelluu, and welcome Jiri Jormakka and Benedek Bragai. So in the spring of 2018 there started to be this talk about in Joensuu about a new company designing small commercial autopiloted airships that collect and transfer data in a very energy efficient way. And today the company has already come quite a long way from that. So Jiri, could you tell us a little bit more about what Kelluu is exactly? You have two pictures also to demonstrate maybe today's situation.
Yeah, of course. It's great to be here, firstly, and I'm Jiri and he's Benedek. And the company is founded 2018 spring, and now we have 6 employees plus quite a few of subcontractors around world, and they are seeing pictures now. Am I right? That thingy is an airship, and we are doing and creating airships, but we are not selling the airships. We are selling services using the airship tech, and that photo is taken maybe 2 months ago, I think. Yeah, something like that. And if we move forward on the photos, and this is what's the outcome from the airship. This is what the customer sees, and this is our user interface thingy. And the top left there's a map that shows where the airship is going, and what's the route it should do or it doing. And you can see the airship on the map over there, and the big picture is what the airship sees. So it flies above an area or thing or object, and currently we are taking photos, and we are taking photos from a power grid, and the photos are sent immediately from the airship to a web service, so we are not storing the photos in the airship. And basically this is what we are doing now.
Great, and I think this is also, as I said in the beginning, a much more energy efficient and environmentally friendly way of collecting this data if you compare to the previous technology that was used.
Well, we got some kind of certificate that we are reducing emissions 99.5% or something like that.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, it is. And one thing is that our reason is that it doesn't use energy when it goes up or stays up. It drops up. So we are only using energy when we want to move or stay still. If there's wind, we need to fly against the wind to keep the position we are.
And I read somewhere in a previous interview with Business Joensuu that you said that your attitude was born global from the start, and today you have an international team, and also
Yes.
your eye very much on the international markets. So how was this team formed?
Oh, well, it's a really good question how to gather a group of professionals to do airships. so basically what we did is that we created scorecards where we had like the end results or what they need to do, what's the job, like really solid ones. Like I think for you it was something like that. You need to create an autopilot that on which the airships are flying and stuff like that. And the requirement was that you don't need to speak Finnish. Yeah, we got. First we had 3 open positions, and we got applications from 10 to 15 countries, I think, if I remember right. And yeah, Benedek was one of them.
Okay. And how did the recruitment process, because these jobs didn't exist. You didn't have a ready job description because I think your product is quite new on the market.
Yeah.
So as you said there, you had to make a scorecard of what the end result would be and then start to think what the position would hold. And then the recruitment, how did it in practice go when people were applying from different countries?
Yeah, it went in a way that at first we have a phone call. It's 15 to 20 minutes or something like that.
I think it was 30.
30, okay, yeah. And on that we ask certain kind of questions. What are you really good at, what you are not so good at, and stuff like that. And after that we have live interviews with the chosen group. On the first phase we had maybe I'd say 30 face-to-face interviews, and yeah, we ask questions, and at the end we give scores to the persons, and who get the most points will get the job.
And I remember in the first TalentHub event in Luotsi, you met one of your future employees.
Yes.
Came to join you as an engineer.
Yes, yes. We did meet here, and yeah, JP, he's from New Zealand, so it's pretty cool and weird at the same time that we met here in Joensuu.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Quite a coincidence.
Yeah.
So, Benedek, where are you originally from, and how did you end up working with Kelluu here in Joensuu?
I'm originally from Hungary and came to Lappeenranta to study 3 years ago. So after finishing my studies there, I was looking for a job in the area and just found this strange job advertisement of airships, and I gave it a shot and it worked.
And so you said you came here to study?
Yes.
And was that in Joensuu or
in
Lappeenranta? And what made you decide that you would like to actually stay here in Finland and in this eastern Finland?
I just like the whole environment, and also the environment in the university was very different than in Hungary. I enjoyed it really, and I just hope that it's just the same as in the working life or everyday life.
And your working language is English?
Yes.
Together, yeah. And what, in your opinion, you can both answer this question, what makes this international team work? What are the key factors of making it work when you have people from different cultures, people who speak maybe different languages as their mother tongue? And I think, Jiri, you spoke to me before that you kind of have a team member also abroad at the moment.
Yeah, from Germany. Yeah. So am I right? We can have at the same time at the factory. You Hungary, then JB New Zealand, us Finland, different parts of Finland, and Johanna's from Germany.
Yes.
Yes. Well, basically, I think it's the project that is really fascinating to all of us, and Yeah, at the end we are just human. It doesn't matter where you are from.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And what about, you spoke a little bit, Benedek, about this university culture being different in your home country or the university life. What kind of differences have you noticed while you were studying and maybe also now in working life?
In studying it was much less stressful. There's much less pressure. Of course the level of the studies was different, but I feel like the whole university life is better here than I had in Hungary. And I cannot really compare the working life because I didn't do full-time job in Hungary. But I feel the same benefits also here.
And if I understood correctly, you have now moved from the testing phase to actual customer operations.
Yes, that really happened, and there's lots of flying happening on this summer.
Can we see them? Are they? How high are they? Could you actually see one of your ships? If you
Yeah, every now and then there's videos on social media that people are stopping and taking videos and photos and publishing, and I think on the next long missions we are more on the outside areas of Joensuu, on the eastern parts of well, not saying exactly where, but if you go east from here, there's lots of power grids over there.
Nice. I still have one more question about the recruitment, because you were a startup when you started forming your team.
Yes.
Did either you or your business partner have any experience about international recruitment before?
Yes, I've worked and recruited foreign people previously, and Jouni has also, Jouni has been an entrepreneur for like 16 to 18 years or something like that, and his the other company is doing really well, and they are doing business to Europe, and he's dealing with international people and customers all the time. So yes, we had some experience.
Yeah, so it's almost like your company was born global, but you also were almost at that time already. Like,
yeah, and when we started the company, we decided that we do it in a way that we went to all the biggest unmanned aerial vehicles or unmanned flying events in the world, and we created like connections, and that really helped us when we launched the recruitment process. So we got quite much of attention immediately.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of media attention also in Finland when you started.
It helped. And it still does. We get quite much of emails and phone calls that are you recruiting, and am I good fit to your company and stuff like that.
So your company is obviously attractive. You have a good employer image.
Yeah.
So shortly, can you tell what makes a good image for a company? Why do people want to work with you?
Maybe I blame the airships. Yeah, everybody likes airships.
Yeah, it's quite a quirky thing in a way, like a little bit special.
Other stuff is really boring, like what do you tell and how you tell, and it's communication, but everybody likes airships.
So it's the product, you can say that it's already like attractive.
It's one really big thing, and we have been pretty constant on how to tell, what to tell, where to tell, and we are using professionals on that one also, and
and networks you mentioned there.
Yeah, it's a pretty. We have plan on how to communicate and when and stuff like that.
Nice. Okay, so any last words? What can we expect next from Kelluu?
You can answer that one.
More and more flying and more airships.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Nice. Sounds good.
Yeah, there might be some news coming on near future. Who knows?
Okay, Well, thank you so much for your time and for visiting us, both of you. And I'm happy to have talents like yourself who actually want to stay here and work here. And that's the whole point of this webinar, to talk about this environment that we have here and companies and those factors that make this a good place to work. So you've all also found your spot.
Yes,
it seems.
definitely.
Nice, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, bye-bye.
Bye. So now we can just wait for the news from Kelluu, whatever is coming up next there. Next on our schedule, I will present the new TalentHub website. If I can just have the slides there. So, as I said earlier, in April, we launched a renewed TalentHub Joensuu website. Previously, it was a project run by Business Joensuu and Karelia, University of Applied Sciences. And at the moment, TalentHub Joensuu is then under Joensuu City's Employment Services and serving both international talents and the companies in the Joensuu region. We have already started to have quite a few profiles, talent profiles on the website, and also now some companies and job positions can be found there. So just while we get the technique up and running, just a minute. There we go. So the aim of TalentHub Joensuu is to bring together the international talents and the companies in the Joensuu region. Siinä tuli Mika joku. No, yes, thanks. So as I said, the history of TalentHub Joensuu, it's not a completely new website, but it's completely renewed this year. So there was a project running from 2018 to 2020. And the project was founded because there was a clear need to coordinate and bring together the companies and the international talents in this area. During the project, 30 companies undertook a cooperation period with an international talent. Around 20 people were employed by SMEs, and also 10 new startup companies were founded by international talents. So this year, the new website was launched, and the website will only be a part of TalentHub Joensuu brand. We will also have events and other projects going on under the TalentHub brand, but the website at the moment is the first step and the most visible one. The aim is to promote the integration of international talents in the Joensuu area, offer and develop personalized employment services for international professionals, work closely together with educational institutions, local companies to attract and keep the international talents in the Joensuu region. Also cooperate with other organizations, just like the Region Council, where we had Markus Hirvonen this morning talking about the attraction factors of the region. So close cooperation with other organizations. We want to promote the vitality of local companies as well as the social and cultural resiliency and equality in business life here. So slowly changing the business culture in North Karelia to a more international. How does it work? So as an international talent, you can create your talent profile to introduce yourself to potential employers. And as a company, you can look for international skills, so you can browse through the talent profiles, or you can also post your own job ad on the website and invite the talents to contact you. It requires registration, so basically an email address, and if you want to put some information, of course, on your profile. But the registration is required for the safety and good business practice on the website. So for example, contact can only be made to an international talent or a company through the website if you have your own registered profile. Then a word on what do we consider as an international talent. So TalentHub Joensuu is actually aimed at all international talents regardless of their nationality. So an international talent could be also someone who comes from another country, or a Finnish professional or student who has international work experience, knowledge of international markets, or language skills that could benefit the companies here. So for example, a Finnish person who has previously worked abroad or has family in, let's say, France, and they have a broad cultural knowledge of the French market, could also be considered as an international talent. But also an international student who has moved to the area and wishes to stay here and find employment, or someone who has valuable language skills. So for the international talents who want to register on the website, basically you can ask yourself, if you want to consider, am I an international talent? Do you have work experience from abroad? Do you have those language skills, knowledge of markets? Or are you a student looking to develop your skills, for example, through an internship or a thesis project? So companies can also offer thesis projects or internships to develop their international business and offer the students these opportunities. So how to get started? You can create your talent profile. So first step is to sign in with your email and then start filling your profile following the link that you will receive. You can look for work, internship, thesis project, also freelance work, part-time work, project work. So you can define what kind of work or project you're looking for. You can also find a lot of information about starting your own business in Finland and links to education, integration, other useful services in the Joensuu region. So we are constantly trying to develop the website to serve better both the international talents and the companies, so that there would also be a strong link network on the website for other services. So as said, creating your profile is actually easy. You're required to sign in. There you can see on the screen at the moment our website address, talenthubjoensuu.fi. So you sign in and you can create your account as a talent or as a company. And your name is required and your email address. Once you have done this, you will receive a link to your email address, and then you can start filling your profile with information about your previous work experience, your language skills, and so on. And it's important to know that also some of the information that you put in the system is not necessarily visible on the website. We'll go over some data security issues a bit later. So then if you're a company looking for international skills or looking to grow your company on an international level, so you can find the talent profiles here. You can also find knowledge to help your company branch into the international markets or serve your international customers better. You can look for an employee, trainee, language skills or particular knowledge, particular business field experience. So just taking a look at the talent profiles or filtering your search with the simple tool we have put in place, you can find exactly the best potential for your company. And you can also post an ad of an open position in your company and attract the international talents. So we really wish that companies in the region would also get a good tool of this website to support their recruitment, and we try to make it as easy to use and at the least time consuming as possible, so that it only takes a minute to post an ad or even post a link to a job ad on your own website. But this is aimed to serve the companies to find these skills that they need. So then just some practical information. There might be some questions about, as I said, data security or what you should write on your profile. So we want to provide a service that runs as smoothly as possible but also protects your personal data. So some of the input that you're writing on your profile won't necessarily be publicly visible on the website. For example, your full name and your email address. You can actually choose a name that you will present yourself with in your profile. Only registered companies can message you through the website. So once a company has registered, there will be a button on each talent that contact this talent. And after that, if the company sends a message to an international talent, there will be an email from that company, but no email addresses are visible on either side at this point. And if then the person would like to respond to this company's email, then the correspondence starts to be between the two of them. All profiles are reviewed before publishing. So if you're wondering that I created my profile last night and it wasn't yet visible on the website, it's because we will review that the information is following a good business practice, and if there is some, for example, some information missing, we can contact you that, hey, could you still fill this in, and so on. So it might take a few hours before the profile is reviewed. You can delete your profile, or a company can delete their job advertisement at any point. The website at the moment runs in English, and we are working on a Finnish version and possibly other language versions in the near future as well. So you're very welcome to join the TalentHub community. Please visit our website talenthubjoensuu.fi, create your profile, or look for the professionals in the Joensuu region. You can also contact us at talenthub@joensuu.fi. So we will try to answer all the questions that you might have about the website, about TalentHub, about Joensuu Employment Services, or any other questions regarding like moving to Joensuu or working in Joensuu, looking for work in Joensuu. And if we cannot answer your question, we will try to forward it to another party. Then at the end, just a few words about Joensuu Employment Services in general. So in addition to TalentHub Joensuu website, we offer coaching at Luotsi, also in English and in French, and I think in Russian definitely. And I won't promise any other languages, but I remember that we had some German-speaking customers as well at some point. But English and Russian definitely, in addition to Finnish. So Luotsi is located at Plaza Centrum in the Joensuu city center. And here you can, if you're looking for work, or you would like to begin studies and apply, for example, to the university, or you are thinking about career change or entrepreneurship, the coaching is free for Joensuu residents. So what happens if you come to Luotsi or you contact us by phone or email or social media, you can get your own personal coach called duuniagentti, so job agent, who will then take your future, planning of your future together with you to the next level. So it could mean that your CV just needs a bit of a refresh, and then you can start applying for jobs, or you've reached a milestone in your life where you don't know which way to go. Should I start my company? Should I look for work? Or you've been on maternity leave or parental leave and you would like to resume working life, or you're new to the city and you don't have networks and you would like to begin somewhere, then Luotsi would be definitely a good place to visit. We are open from Monday to Friday from 10 to 4, and as I said, in a very central location, so you can just walk in, and our information desk staff and job agent Lena there can also welcome you in English. So thank you very much. I think if my schedule is correct, we have about a minute or so for questions. So do we have any comments or questions on the... No. Okay. Well, thank you from my part, and please visit the website and contact us if you have any questions. Our next guests are Mikko Hassinen and Stefan Steinhoff from Sensire. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to our webinar.
And should I start already?
Well, I was going to say just a couple of words to introduce you, and then Mikko and Stefan have a presentation that we'll go through here. So, if I understood correctly, you offer digital monitoring solutions for the logistics chain, which, for example, means food safety monitoring.
Yes.
Yes. And you will tell us a little bit more about the company and also about your international team.
Yeah.
And global customer base, partner network, things like this.
Yes.
So I'll let Mikko start.
Yes, so we are Sensire, or Sensire in Finnish, and Joensuu-based company, but I would say we're quite international already. We have been in the market for over 13 years, and we made a decision to focus the headquarters in Joensuu, even though we have a presence in Germany, in Poland, in UK, besides Joensuu at the moment as well. And what we basically do is we do cold chain monitoring, but we have focused solutions for different verticals, and we basically combine software, hardware, and our professional expertise on the market. And we have 250 customers in Finland, and now I would say a little over 30 customers in Germany, in Poland, and in UK. So abroad, and just established company in US and in Canada as well. Okay. Our target customer verticals are basically, like mentioned, food safety, but it's really, I would say, quite broad. So we have like central kitchens, catering companies, hotels, restaurants. Everybody who deals with food is basically our target customers. And on the other side, we also deal with the medical market, so blood donations, blood transportation, different kinds of sample transportations. All of this, it's kind of like perishable, so you need to monitor during warehousing or you need to monitor during transportation. So we handle that. For example, in Finland, Finnish Red Cross is one of our biggest customers in this. And we work with international teams here in Joensuu, and also we work with international teams abroad. So in Joensuu, for example, Stefan is our local German guy. One of our target markets is in Germany, so it's good to have like German-speaking content specialist. We have also like UX designers, we have software developers, we have sales, we have marketing, these kinds of team members in Joensuu, but also in Poland, in Germany, in UK. And I would say that the latest technology enables you to almost have, and obviously during this COVID, it's no difference that is your team member in Germany or is it in Joensuu basically. And we deal with a lot of global partners as well, because our solution is, I would say, full turnkey. So all of them come equipped, for example, with global connections. So we work with the network infrastructures. We work with Microsoft, we work with Yokogawa, is a big Japanese corporation that invested 6 million euros for us in 2019. So I would say our day-to-day life is quite international, and it's good to have international talent on board for that. Yeah. If you have any questions, I'm open to discuss, and Stefan would like to probably say a couple of words as well.
Absolutely. So I actually have a question for Stefan.
Yeah.
How did you two find each other? Were you recruited from Germany or were you already living in
No,
Finland?
I was already living here in Joensuu, and there was some kind of marketing traineeship program where Sensire took part in, and I applied for it. And since they were looking specifically for German-speaking employee, it was a good fit.
And how do you find then living and working here in North Karelia?
It's quite okay.
No complaints?
No complaints really. I came here first time to study, so I've been living here for a while before applying with Sensire then. So it's just my daily life.
Mm-hmm. And Mikko, you were talking about the technology and the remote teams.
Yeah.
What kind of tips would you have in managing these teams and making the communication work where people are, some are here, some are in another country, different time zone?
Yeah, I would say that one of the main differences, one of the main keys or tips, I would say that it's good to invest on good technology. So for example, we did like this Microsoft Teams setup in all of our negotiating rooms, so we can integrate seamlessly all of our video equipment and these kinds of things. So connections work, and then speech, video, all of this works quite nicely. And it's good to have the video on, for example, every time you have these discussions with foreign team members, so to say. And also you need to, for example, regarding time zones, you need to be flexible. So it's not 8 to 4 working days, but it's kind of like quite nice to be able. The world seems a little bit smaller when you are able to interact at one hand with Japanese and one hand with US. So nicely in the middle of Finland.
And I don't know if I'm correct, but it sounds like, because the business has been so international for quite some time, that you probably traveled a little bit before this COVID.
Yeah.
So how has that changed for you in regards of running the business, maintaining the networks? There must be some challenges, of course, when you cannot maybe meet people in person. But how do you find this new way of working that we are facing now?
I would say that it has probably become even more efficient in a way, because I, for example, have worked with Sensire 2 years now. First year I traveled like 100 days, and now the second year I have been in Joensuu. So everything has been still organized, but you can get rid of a lot of these first off meetings, in that sense that usually when we had a meeting, even with the customer that's, I would say, slightly interested, you travel to Germany, you spend 3 days there, and then you shake hands and you go with the next. Now you can have that meeting in 1 hour, because the situation has forced it to be kind of like the new normal in that sense. So I would say that I hope that after this COVID, I would like to still continue meeting people, but still I would say the first meetings would luckily be handled by Teams or other e-Teams platforms.
And then, since you work in an international team, what, in your opinion, are the key points of creating this kind of inclusive environment?
I would say that we need to treat people as people, so it doesn't matter if they are international or national. We just try to create like a nice atmosphere for everybody. And I would say it's a little bit more difficult to introduce, for example, new foreign team members for the atmosphere that we are trying to create here in Joensuu. But once you start to have these video meetings that are, I would say, not so, a little bit more flexible, a little more laid back, and they are starting to sense that, okay, this is a cool company, and just include everyone. I think that's the main thing.
And just while you were speaking about the team, there was this curiosity that it's a technology company, so are you mostly like an average age is quite the same, or do you have people from different ages? Or
I would say, obviously, the management or director level is a little bit older, maybe, so to say, but the developers, our age, I would say median is somewhere along 30 to 35. So in sales you have a little bit, and especially in German market, you maybe have a little bit more mature people in there, because it's a plus. But we have a lot of people coming straight from the university and these kinds of things as well. So we are quite diverse in that sense as well.
Nice. And then, Stefan, you have already been here for quite some time then when you studied, and now you're working, but would you have some tips for people who would be recruited, for example, abroad straight to work here? How to adapt to living in Joensuu? What can they expect?
Well, not speaking Finnish can be an obstacle in many ways to get the in. Like I needed the help from Luotsi, to find this advertisement actually for my position because it was only in Finnish.
Mm-hmm.
So learning Finnish is going to be a big plus. And else, I think it's just like in any other country to find work. At least for me, it's nothing special to work abroad.
Nice, and I just actually, before you sat down, I gave a little presentation also about Luotsi services, so your road went through Luotsi as well.
Yeah, I tried my luck with the unemployment office. Wasn't working out so well, and then I found Luotsi, and I had my coach Aino here for quite some time, and she was really helpful, and I can only recommend other internationals to use Luotsi to find work.
Well, thank you very much. Our time is unfortunately up, and our next guest might be waiting in the Teams connection, so remote visitor. But thank you so much for joining us. Very interesting. Good luck with the new operations a bit further.
Other side of the globe.
Other side of the globe.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And now we have Harri Palviainen, the Chief Executive Officer from Business Joensuu, joining us through Teams. Can you hear me, Harri, well?
Yes, certainly. Sounds good.
Perfect. So we have just a couple of minutes, so let's keep it short and precise. You have done a truly global career leading international teams and developing multinational companies. So could you share us your insights about the key success factors for working in an international environment?
Yeah, it's wide topic, but to put it in brief, that first of all, for the companies, I see it as a huge opportunity, so that you go on new markets and you grow your markets, and same time when you go abroad and expand your business there, you learn new things and you evolve and develop the company. So that's I see as a starting point, that there should be a good motivation. Of course, it requires so that you have courage to do it, but same time, when you are good in your business in somewhere, you are able to be good in other places also. So one shouldn't be kind of avoiding the risk, but instead see the opportunities there. And then one thing is I see a lot about the people. So that and I heard that you just discussed about the people and somehow there is, for example, questions that, hey, very practical questions that do I manage with my English abroad doing business, and my wife at certain stage said to me that you speak this rally in English, as you can hear now, and it's really more like being yourself, and it's not about do you pronounce exactly things correctly or use right words, but it's more like who you are and what you represent, and somehow I have learned that at the end, the people all around the globe, this might sound kind of stupid, but that's my interpretation, that the people all around the globe are at the end, they are very similar, very same, so that there are different cultures and different way of doing things, but as a human beings, which is the most important thing in business in my view, is that to get the connection on the human being level, so to create the trust and reliability and honest interaction. It's about being yourself, and it doesn't matter do you speak perfect English or any other languages, you just go and be yourself. I don't know if I did answer your question, but anyway.
You did, absolutely, and that has come apparent with the other entrepreneurs that I've spoken with already this morning, that people are people, and it comes down to that. Just before you have to go, you spoke about courage there, that the company needs to have the courage to branch into the international market or hire their first international talent. If the company is lacking courage, I think Business Joensuu would be the place to go.
Exactly. So we are one place, and this is not about kind of advertising. We don't have need to advertise because we do it only for purpose of good for the companies. But that's something also that also personally looking back, that if there would have been some help on certain points, you didn't need to hit all the rocks. And that's the idea with our services also, that we have. For example, we have a Go Global service, which is internationalization service, that you go and sell your stuff abroad. And the idea there is that you get help and experience from the people who have done it, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel again. And the other thing is also that you are not alone. You are not the only one who is, because it's a phase, so that you start from somewhere and you grow, and you grow the company and you go to new countries and recruit new talents and so on. So there are others in the same phase where you are. And with this, like this Go Global, which is a coaching, it's a several months coaching with the experienced international professionals who have done it. They help you, but same time you are also discussing with the other companies who are in a similar situation. They are also thinking that what the heck should I go and what should I do, and when you do it together, so that you discuss with the others, you share the knowledge and experience, and you notice that what the heck, everybody else is in the same situation, and there is help available. And what is good also to remember, which I tend to repeat always, that every single company, how big or small internationally they are, they have been in the beginning, even the biggest ones that are the global market leaders, they have been few guys in the beginning, and they have gone through the development phase and learned things. So our idea is to help there, and we are not the only. There is, for example, in what is Kauppakamari in English, there is Global Steps program, and then we have this Go Global, and then there is financial support and many types of support available.
Great. Thank you so much, Harri. I'm aware of the time that you need to move on, but thank you for squeezing in these few minutes with us and for these very valuable insights. Thank you.
May I say one final sentence?
Absolutely.
I just want to encourage everybody. So it's also fun, which is important. And also from the point of view of our region, so that we have more international knowledge and culture and businesses. That's certainly good for us. That's all from my side.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Harri.
Thanks for the opportunity. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So the first half of our webinar is now finished, and we will have a small break. We'll continue 10:10 with Nolwenture, and their CEO Rob Connell will be joining us after the break. But take a cup of coffee, have a little break. See you at 10:10. Thank you. So welcome back. Now we are sitting here with Rob Connell, Chief Executive Officer from Nolwenture. And with your headquarters here in Joensuu, you are operating internationally.
Yes.
And you offer digital products and services to a global customer base. So now I'll let you talk a little bit more about what your company exactly does, and also how you create an inclusive work environment for your team, and what does it mean also for your company culture.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think that's very important in terms of, and we should maybe define what we mean by inclusive as well, and I can maybe expand a little bit on the countries and the locations. So first off, we've been around since 2012, and we've got more than 20 people in the business, and they are from very diverse backgrounds. So we actively encourage people to come from different backgrounds, and for people to do things outside of work as well, because that gives the very different sectors that we work in us a lot of context. So whilst we're developing software and mobile applications and web applications and in dealing with IoT and AI and all the rest of it, we also have to work on many different industry sectors. So it's fantastic that we've got people who have come from teaching or translation or nuclear physicist, or very, very, very diverse group of people. But also we operate internationally, as you say. So it's the mindset of working internationally with clients is also really important. So most of us are based here in Joensuu. We also have a satellite office in Kuopio, Helsinki, and we have an entity also set up in Singapore as well, and that's to serve some of our customers in Asia. And recently we've been doing a lot of work with North America as well. And indeed, one of the companies, we actually got them to establish their headquarters here in Joensuu. And part of that is because we have a great network of support in Joensuu, whether it's Business Finland or Ely-Keskus or Business Joensuu as such, and Finvera, etc. So we deal, as you can tell by that, we deal with a lot of startups, but we also deal with scale-ups, and we also have some very large customers as well. So again, that inclusive background in terms of people who come from big and small companies is important. So we're a technology company, as you say. We develop software, but we have to understand the wider context of our clients. We have to understand the business that they operate in their business model. So the current slide is saying that it's not just about software development, but before we do anything, we need to understand what is the vision of the customer. And you can also see that we work with quite a few different companies. You've probably been speaking to some of them today as well. So we have good coverage locally in Joensuu. We've got some companies on this list that are in Kuopio, some are in Helsinki, some of them are abroad as well. So Redkick is originally from the US, set up here in Joensuu, an insurtech company. We've got companies like Solenovo, Fastroi, Valamis, Claudio, Blanco, etc., very much established here, fluent as well. Companies like Assetio in Lappeenranta, Lockyer is in Kuopio, Diced is part of Playmore Games in Helsinki. Abloy is completely international. Mogul and Cold Build as examples there in Singapore. So we've got everything there from construction to insurance to smart cities, etc., and compliance. And in terms of our people, we'll just skip through, and we've got people from France, Switzerland, Germany, Canada, Russia, India, 3 of us from the UK now, and also inclusive in terms of, I'm very, very proud of our track record in terms of female employees as well, and female software developers. And it's not necessarily, where people talk about there's a shortage of software developers, women. A lot of the ones that we have come to us, it's been their second career to get into software development. So running things like internships has really been helpful, and training programs as well. Whereas traditionally we've always been a group of seniors. Yeah. And we have a very open, continuous recruitment process, and I think that's important for us as well. And the company's been operating in English since day one, and that also helps with inclusivity in terms of Finnish is great, but if people's Finnish isn't that wonderful, that helps with the internationals get started with us as well. I can continue a little bit in terms of the presentation here, which is having a clear recruitment process is very important. We often hear people are struggling to find people, but I think the most important thing is that we are approachable and that we do respond to everybody, even if it's to say, we suggest you go and get some more experience, or next time you're in town, come and see us, etc. So we try to be very transparent and open with the process. We also try and utilise the facilities. The unemployment office here, for example, has been great in posting job adverts, etc. for us. And when it comes to international recruitment, spouses are really important, and the context of why they might want to come here. So it's really good if we've got Nolwenture and some of our clients offering things like internships, and we've got Riveria and UEF and Karelia, all attracting international students as well. And if they can get some work experience while they're here, that really helps de-risk in terms of giving people a job opportunity, rather than if they have no context, no experience of having lived and worked in Joensuu, then that might be risky for both parties.
That's a good point, actually, that if they have already studied here, they must somehow like it or understand how we live and work here. Very interesting when you talked about the team, and that from day one English has been the operating language at the office, and also it sounded fascinating that there are people from such rich backgrounds and such diversity, not just with languages or nationalities, but also just the industries and the previous careers, as you said, that many of these, especially female software developers, could be career changers. So I can imagine that also in the coffee room there is interesting conversation when people are not from the same box, but there is a lot of rich backgrounds there. And you also mentioned that you encourage, if I understood correctly, that people would also do something outside of work together. Could you tell us still a little bit more about that?
So I think we've got lots of examples. So, for example, we took on a Swiss national. He worked for us for about a year, and then went and did a master's in Tampere in human interaction and computers. So he worked for us part-time. So we're quite flexible in terms of off he went to do something that benefits us as well as him. We recently took on a great candidate, PhD from the UK. Again, he's came to work for us. And after a short amount of time, he actually got a research grant, and he's going off to do something else, and he'll work for us part-time during that period as well. So we have to be flexible. We're also encouraging, not like the old days where your contract would say you can't do anything outside of what you're doing. Here's your day job. So people are making games in their spare time, for example, and that's great, because one of the things that Nolwenture is really good at is the user experience, and incorporating things like 3Ds and sort of graphics you expect from a game into things like enterprise software. So it's great for us as an employer if people are doing this in their spare time, but also we need to give people freedom for that as well. Now, outside of that, it could be also just some completely different knowledge. I mean, we've got lots of, I guess, silly examples that we'd never expected to come up. I mean, we took on one guy who's part qualified to fly a helicopter, and I think he told us that in the interview and thought that's probably not relevant. But then a couple of days later, someone came in and basically said that they needed someone who could understand how to create flight simulation. And it's like, well, we just happen to have a developer with a private pilot's license. So it's fun to have that.
I'm aware that our time is running out, but I want to ask you one last question, because before you joined Nolwenture, you also have long experience as a consultant in internalization and marketing services. So what would you say that would be the first steps a company should take if they would like to move from local to global or build this more international inclusive work environment?
Sure, yeah. I think it's really important that if you're going from local to global, that you have the right attitude in terms of dealing internationally with clients. So one of those things can be as practical as on this next slide here, for example. So Redkick is a great client of Nolwenture. The founder of that business is based in the East Coast of the US, so my evenings pretty much spent speaking to him on the East Coast. So you have to be flexible. Forget about working 8 till 4, traditional finish time, so you have to think about that. The clients that we have in Singapore, for example, means that we tend to be working earlier in the morning with them. We normally find a window that's convenient for everybody. The other one is a certain level of patience with the language. So countries like Singapore, English is the official language, etc. But a lot of people are migrant workers into the country, so their first language might be Chinese. So you have to be quite patient with the communication as well. But you soon tune your ear to that. So a lot of this is about attitude. The other things is social capital. So build up your social capital. And the great thing about companies in Joensuu who want to go abroad is we have wonderful relationships with Team Finland and with embassies around the world who always have commercial attaches and people are willing to help you. So we're a member of the Nordic Innovation House Singapore, for example. Chairman of that works for the ambassador to Finland in Singapore, and it's great to have that connection. So as a small company, you can be at the ambassador's residence, pitching your ideas or whatever it might be to a group of high flyers that you couldn't do on your own. So that's where, for me, my adopted home of Finland is such you can utilise those things. So the social capital, the attitude, and I think obviously willingness to work flexible hours, willingness to travel is important as well. But otherwise, forget about all your positive and negative prejudices and treat everybody the same, which is the most important thing, I think. Yeah.
Yes, I think from this morning there has been this ongoing theme that people are just people.
Yeah, we deal with people. I mean, Nolwenture, we're a software development company. We can talk about the technologies and the frameworks and the programming languages, but it's people use us. Our clients are people. They come. They have to trust us with their vision. And then it's our individuals and their skills and how well the team works together as well. And if you don't mind, I'd just like to get the last plug in, if we could, which is Nolwenture have always open to hearing from budding software engineers. Of course, we like to find seniors as well. And Redkick, our client, the InsurTech company, we're looking for business administrators and business analysts at the moment who perhaps come from a regulated industry like banking or insurance beforehand. And they can contact me anytime for that.
Perfect. And also check out this TalentHub Joensuu website because we have a lot of international profiles there already to browse or even post these job ads or links.
I believe Redkick is there now.
Yeah, I think Redkick put some of
and
these
I think
positions.
Nolwenture is also featured on TalentHub as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you very much, and best of luck with the with everything, with the business, with the people.
Thank you.
Yeah. Summer.
Very good. And thanks for having me here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you, Rob Connell from Nolwenture. And next we have Larissa Marttinen from Business Joensuu talking about Become Karelian project. So we'll just wait that Larissa arrives. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
So welcome Larissa Marttinen from Business Joensuu. You work there as a development manager for new business and internationalization services. And today we would like to discuss with you the Become Karelian project. which is aimed for, if I understand correctly, for people who would like to move to North Karelia from abroad to work and live here. And you coordinate this project together with Joensuu City and the Regional Council of North Karelia. So what is this project all about?
I am serving Finnish companies what are in our region, North Karelian companies, and I am listening them, their demands, and then I am helping them in recruiting. Mostly companies from our region, they want expert level workers, and I am helping for recruiting. It needs time and it's expensive. Sometimes there is no knowledge in company how to make it, so I handle this all process, and then I take care of international experts here, and I sure that they feel comfortable here and welcome. At the moment, positions what I am looking for, they are really on the top level, and in the world there are not so many experts in this particular field. IT field, for instance, or photonic field, it's a field of future.
And when you said that there are some industries or business fields that especially need these high-level talents, and you said that there are not so many of those experts in the world, so the competition of these talents must also be quite high on an international level. So let's say that you would reach one of these people and discuss for a company on a company's behalf or together with the company. What would you use as attraction points that why would they move here? Why would they choose to work here and not in New York or Singapore?
Okay, this year, I got your question. This year Finland got a nomination of happiest country in the world. So, of course, we have here freedom, we have political rights, we have a lot of things what are good for human being, and of course nature, those aspects are main what I am speaking about when I advertise our region. But to say true, it's a very challenging work because even Helsinki is much more attractive than our region, because it's all the time big city is much more attractive for talents or international experts. So in this way we have to create our unique concept for attraction.
And I think the big cities are attractive in a different way. I think we have this mindset that you can only build a big career in a big city, but that's not necessarily true anymore. Today there is a lot of opportunities also that you can be based pretty much anywhere and work remotely, or then just travel occasionally if needed. And as you said there, we have maybe a lot of other attractive features in this area, like the security, like that it's good for the family. There is the nature, like you said, that maybe also we just would need to find the people who are in that stage of their life that this is what they are looking for. So definitely you said very good points there about what are the good factors and why people could choose this and not the big city.
International experts, they can get easily and in short time to work, and the time what they spend driving by car to work or by bicycle, it's pretty short than comparing with big city. So these kind of aspects, they are main aspects when I am speaking about our region. And of course nature, close to nature.
And also if thinking about people who have families, that if you have to balance work life and family life, as you said, the distances, the commute is shorter, there is the good daycare and education for the children and so on. So absolutely we have a lot of strengths. So what happens then in practice if a company would need this kind of talent? What happens? They contact you and then...
Yes, they contact me, our company contact, they get contact, and then we go through the details, what kind of experts they need, on what level, and after that even we go through area, from what area is much more suitable for them to get future workers. Sometimes it's Middle East, sometimes it's Europe, sometimes it's Russia. It depends on company demands. But I think that our companies in Northern Karelia, they are open-minded, and they are willing to get international experts. So I'm very happy about it.
Well, that's very good to hear. That's, I think, a good start if there is this open-mindedness and willingness to look beyond our own box here. So the project will run still until the end of March next year.
Yes.
And I would like to, I think our time is running out, so I will thank you. There would have been much more to discuss still, but maybe to be continued another time then.
Yeah, it's other conversation then, other time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larissa.
Thank you.
And any companies, if they are watching this, they can contact you if they are looking for some specific talent and it's hard to find it here. And
yes,
you would be the person. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Se oli tosi mukava. Kiitos. Kiitos. Vähän jännitin. Kiitos.
So thank you, Larissa from Business Joensuu. Now we are waiting for our next guest. So just a few moments that they will arrive. Hey. Hello. Please take a seat.
Where you want to go first? Okay. Eli tossa on se joo.
Okay, so our last guest today from Fastroi. Welcome Communications Marketing Director Johanna Tanninen and designer Lin Nguyen from Fastroi.
Thank you.
So you offer, if I did my research correctly, care management systems, especially for the social and healthcare sector. So Johanna, you have a short presentation, so maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what your company does, and then about the international recruitment process.
Yeah, that's maybe we can do that way.
Yes.
I can shortly tell about Fastroi and so how the company was started. So our CEO was actually a kind of family carer for his mother, and then he got kind of idea that how the information was fragile in every place, and he got this business idea about this care management system, and that was how Fastroi was started. And nowadays there are almost 70 people working at Fastroi. We have offices Joensuu, Tampere, Vantaa, and also one office in the UK. There is also one employee sales guy there. And shortly maybe about the figures, so our turnover was like 5.4 million last year, and profit also almost 500,000 euros. And we have actually quite big market share with our software in Finland, both in domiciliary care and in child welfare, so both with Hilkka and Nappula. And there are like 40,000 end users for our three different software overall. So that's maybe shortly about the company. Yes, and maybe I can tell something about our software, like you mentioned already. So we have Hilkka software, and that's mainly used for the domiciliary and residential care for the elderly. And we are market leader in Finland in that. And then we have also this Nappula software in Finland. So that is used in social care, especially in child welfare. And now we are also we will have a new software which will be taken quite soon in use in the UK first. So it's called Real-Time Care, and that is the software that we aim for the international markets. And Lynn is actually working in that team, software development. And well, kind of that what our software help our users, so they will have more time to care work when they have this care management system in use. So that's maybe shortly about our software. And then I promised that I will shortly tell that how we recruit international skills. So basically what is important for all companies when recruiting, either is it any employee, is that we really kind of, you do employer branding. You tell what your company does in many ways in social media, press, and also of course show your customers and so on. So that's important part. I think I need to take my glasses off. Yeah, and our company language is official language is English. So we have some employees who is speaking English and are not native Finnish speakers. So that's kind of easy. It's our work to recruit international skills, and then we have quite wide employee benefits. So we have very wide insurances like healthcare insurances and so on. And well, how we recruit? We have of course open positions which can be seen on our website, and then there is possibility to send open application. And then also in software development especially, so we have this kind of traineeship possibilities, and we do close cooperation with different universities and universities of applied sciences in Joensuu and Tampere. So that is kind of the how we recruit. And well, as a HR point of view, what is kind of different, maybe Lynn can maybe tell more than also. So different when recruiting international skills. So especially HR and supervisors need to of course help team members in all very different things. Like for example, in my earlier work, I have been checking schools for my employees' kids, or there might be that I have been helping with move or doing the electricity contract or those kind of things. So if you want to recruit, you need to also help that kind of what is what is different in Finland. We have different bank systems and also we want to really help our employees to fit in here in North Karelia or so. So those kind of things maybe shortly.
Yeah. I definitely got a lot of help.
Yeah.
Outside of work.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah.
Before I ask some questions for Lynn, you said that English is your working language.
Yes.
But was it like that from the start, or was it changed at some
No,
point?
I think it changed was it Lynn 2 years ago? 3 years? 3 years ago, yeah.
And how was the change? How did it go? Like, was it smooth or were there some bumps?
I think it went quite smoothly because we just started to have, for example, staff info in English. Then we started to provide all, for example, HR-related materials like documents both in Finnish and English. So, but maybe Lynn, you can say that have it went smoothly or there are like. Then we have this kind of how do you say, quick message tool. So there all our news, company official news are in English and in that way. Yeah.
So I actually I joined the company right about the time that we started transitioning. And definitely there were difficulties at first. As with everything, but
with
I think
documentation and everything,
But it has only been up. I can see that everything improved very rapidly, and as we have more international employees after I joined, now I think now pretty much everything is in English, and there's no issue at all.
Yeah, and of course in those teams, for example, software teams who are doing the software for the Finnish market, so there you need to be native Finnish speakers because there are like legislations on healthcare or social care what relates to products and those kind of things, and you need to know the wording. So some teams work, of course, they use just Finnish in their team meetings. So that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, because I think that might be the kind of big barrier for a company to hire the first international people if the documentation, like you said, that there was some translating to do and it is a transitioning period, but in the end it pays off, and then once it's done and then new people can join the team much more smoother.
That's true.
Absolutely. So Lynn, first and foremost, I tried to do a little Googling yesterday evening, like what does a UI designer actually do? I understand it's something about the visual aspect of the user experience in an app or software. Yeah. So could you explain a little bit more what?
So I think, to put it simple, my job, I work in the real-time care RTC team, and so far my job have been we have a desktop application and we have a mobile application, and I work with the developers and work with our product management to design the application so that it is easy to use, friendly, and just feel nice for our user basically. And mostly product management handle the business requirements, the legislations, and the kind of things that Johanna just mentioned, and then I work with the developer to translate that into the application.
Okay,
that's basically it.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense now. Great. And so you're originally from Vietnam.
Yes.
How do you find living and working here in Joensuu?
Very nice, actually. I think I adapted quite quickly to the work life here, because I think the work culture between Finland and Vietnam are very different from each other, but everything is really easy and people are very helpful, and in general it didn't take a lot of time to get used to it, in a sense, and yeah.
During this webinar we have talked about the attraction factors of North Karelia, like why would people want to move here. What do you find, in your opinion, are the best things to live here and to work here?
Personally, I find it really nice that everything are, or pretty much everything are transparent, and whatever I need to do, I can find information and guidance very easily, or and there is the pain points that I found when I was working in my own country, I didn't have here at all. So that's that really makes working very enjoyable. And well, I like Joensuu, so.
What is good about Joensuu? Why do you
There
like
are not a lot of people. I mean, I am from the capital city of Vietnam, and within my city alone, we have more people than the entire Finland.
So, okay, so that's big difference.
So it's a big improvement.
Yeah.
And were you recruited from abroad, or were you already living in Finland?
I was living in Finland, and so I joined the company 3 years ago in 2018. And by then I was a student in the University of Eastern Finland. I came here in 2016, so 1 year and a half since then, and then I joined here. I actually joined through the open application. I sent in my CV and expressed I would like to find a job or work position, and I got contacted after a few months because the RTC team at the moment needed my expertise apparently. So that's how I got to Fastroi.
And Johanna, you mentioned there that the HR department has helped also with a lot of the practical sides of moving here or establishing life here. So, if I gather it correctly, you also recruit people from abroad, or has everybody already been living here or somehow set here, or have you done recruitment where someone moved for this position?
All have been living already here or in other cities as well at the moment. So that has been the situation. There are different ways to come, like someone has came as a trainee or then as an employee. And now we have this, because we have also this remote work possibility, so there are also team members outside our office cities working for us in Finland as well.
Yeah, we've also talked a lot about that today, that the work life has, maybe with this COVID situation, very fast it's transforming into more flexible and the work life has to adapt very quickly also to situations, and I think remote work is one key element also for the quality of life of people sometimes. And
that is, and it was really, of course, very big change for us also last year. We have already, of course, all the connections and so on, but many team members, they rarely work at home, but now you can see in the office like less than maybe 5 people or 10 people at the moment, so that is something that has changed our culture as well during 1 year, that we have now also those teams that were earlier only in Joensuu, so now those team members can live anywhere in Finland in that way.
And so, do you think that this will continue in some way after we don't have to wear the masks anymore and normal life somehow resumes?
Yeah, we have asked our employees' opinion, and kind of some people would like to only work from home totally, but many of our employees would like to still work in the office 2 or 3 days and then maybe some days at home. So we definitely maybe will have this kind of different choices that can have. But I don't think so that we go back to normal, that everyone is again back to office always. So this has changed also the working culture.
Yeah.
And we want to, of course, listen our employees, how they want to in the future. So we will see maybe in autumn that what will really happen.
Indeed. Nobody knows yet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us today,
Okay,
both
thank
of you. And one interesting thing, I read the blog about you, Lynn, this nice employee blogs, and you were doing the knitting and crocheting, so that's very Finnish, but it was somehow that, was it that your family also wanted you to learn these skills, or was there some connection to Vietnam with that?
Yeah, it's. I think my mom and my aunts kind of gave up on teaching me before I came here. But I tried a lot when I was there, but I couldn't learn. But somehow when I got here and my friends started teaching me, I managed to learn, and I'm doing a lot of stuff now. And it's actually a nice thing that now I have another thing to connect to my family about. So it's super nice.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Saa nousta. All right.
So, Fastroi was our last guest today. So 2 hours of TalentHub webinar is starting to come to an end. We had very interesting discussions here today. Some topics that I wrote down for myself that arose repeatedly regarding working with international teams, international business, is that people are people, and just have an open mind, be flexible, ready to adapt, have the courage or find the courage together to expand and become more international. And also that when we are speaking about North Karelia, our attractiveness as an area to live and work, it's good to remember that work is just one area of life. We have very flexible, equal, good work arrangements here, but also we have a lot to offer for the person's free time. We have the security, the good setup for a family life, the nature that creates the framework for where everything happens. And also we found that English as an operating language in an office in Joensuu creates much more possibilities, of course, to create this inclusive working environment, invite diversity to the teams, and also cooperation. Educational institutions and other companies, other networks are important when you want to operate on an international level. And also the employer branding. So we heard also that there's a lot of competition for international talent, and not just the area, but the companies need to be attractive and offer good benefits or good work culture, interesting positions for these talents so that they would be attracted to work and live here. So please stay tuned. We have at Luotsi on Friday another event about international business at our Entrepreneurship Friday, so Yrittäjyyden Olohuone, also streamed live at 12 on Friday on the Luotsi YouTube channel, so please join in for that as well. We have interesting companies visiting there as well. And also follow TalentHub, follow Luotsi on Instagram, and check out the TalentHub Joensuu website for both if you're a talent or if you're a company, and take it as a new tool to build this international work life here in Joensuu. Thank you to all of our guests. Thank you for our amazing technical team. I think we had a couple of little difficulties in the beginning, but they were sorted out then, so thank you so much. And do we have any questions on the chat that we could still look at here?
Joo, no eikä täällä ole niinku, joku on kirjautunut tai on kirjoittanut, että tehdä käyttää tuolla TalentHubissa ja sitten kysytään, että et kestääkö siinä normaalisti jonkin aikaa, että se saa ilmoituksen sen sähköpostiin.
So if you have tried to sign into the TalentHub website, the email should come very quickly with the registration link. If you don't receive that, check also the junk mail box. It could possibly go there, but it shouldn't take time. But reviewing the profiles can take time, especially during the weekend, or if you're creating your profile in the evening, it could take till the next day that it's actually published on the website. Because we manually actually review all the profiles. Did we have any other questions? Okay. Yes, and the whole webinar will be visible on the Luotsi YouTube channel permanently, at least for the near future. So, thank you.